lost.
Enlighten me, Manhattan McGansey.
Pat had been saving up for a weekend of pampering. He'd already spent a fortune on a new haircut, clothes, and a couple of other bits and bobs. As he was on his way home, he was spotted by a bunch of his drinking pals. He really didn't want to have to deal with his rowdy friends. He just wanted a quiet day to himself. But try telling that to his already half-cut mates.
The lads, huh? The lads!
What would you know? You haven't had a friend in your entire life.
What about Davy?
Oh, Davy, Jesus. He was a snail. He wasn't even a pet, let alone a friend.
Yeah, but you could tell him things and he wouldn't judge you.
Oh, my God, shut up, will you? A sad, sad excuse for a life. Anyway, Pat was dead points, whether he wanted them or not. He knew the kind of fellas that his mates were, and it was only a matter of time before they'd be going through his shopping and taking the piss out of him. And since he had bought himself some special things, just for him, he decided he'd have to take some action.
He hadn't bought himself some Joe Malone lavender and mint balm, had he?
He sneaked away for a moment and stashed his bags behind the cistern in the men's room. He'd come back and pick them up before he left. As the hours rolled on, the lads were getting rowdier, and despite many attempts to leave, they just weren't letting Pat go. Then the alarm bells rang.
Time, ladies and gentlemen, please.
No, it was too early for that. Pat asked the bartender what was going on. It's a bomb scare. Everyone was ushered out onto the street.
Oh, Jesus.
As the SWAT team entered the pub, everyone looked on. Pat's heart sank as they headed for the men's room. His bags were in there. Soon the television crews had arrived and the crowd had doubled. A bomb disposal man came out and told everyone
false alarm.
Someone had reported what they thought was a suspect package. A vibrating bag had been shoved behind the cistern.
What do you mean, vibrating?
The officer reached into the bag and pulled out the anal capacitator, the backdoor boyfriend. He pressed the on button and it vibrated madly.
Oh, Jesus,
Pat slinked into the background and was about to disappear when the officer pulled out a credit card slip and asked,
Does anyone know Mr. Pat McCann?
All eyes turned on poor Pat,
I knew it.
who was mortified beyond belief. Jesus. All he wanted was a quiet day to himself.
Feckin' gobsheen. Sure, everyone knows you never leave the batteries in the anal capacitator. They have a random throb function that's liable to go off at any feckin' time.
Right.
Allegedly.
Too much information. Thank you very much.
So, about getting a new ringtone for me phone. Is there any chance you could sub me some money? I only need 5 yo-yos. What the? Huh?
Now you won't need 5 yo-yos, you feckless gimp!
Pudge, that wasn't my phone.
Huh?
I put that tone on yours as a present. See the funny
Put your
side?
hand on the table.
No, not the hand. No, no, I'm not putting my hand
Put
on
your
the table.
hand on the table.
No, not
One
that.
yo-yo. 2 yo-yos. 3 yo-yos. 4 yo-yos.
Oh, not the thumb.
Not the thumb, huh?
Not the thumb.
5 yo-yos.
Bollocks.
Oh, my bollocks. Am I? 6 yo-yos.
Oh. Shite.
Where were you?
At Mass.
Could have sworn you said you were at Mass.
I was.
Huh? Why, after 65 years of devout atheism, would you, of all people, suddenly end up in church?
'Cause it's the only place in town where you can ogle ladies' arses without getting a smack across the jowls. And I made €19 from the collection plate.
Thank be Jesus. I thought for a moment you'd found religion. But you'd want to be careful.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, the church are pretty shrewd when it comes to knowing what's going on.
Oh.
Father Roger Rightly was a man of the cloth, nigh on 10 years. He was well respected in the parish and a moral guardian for many a lost soul. Late one evening, Father Roger was surprised by an impromptu visit from Bishop Pullet.
Oh, was he any relation to Dick Pullet from the Pullet Inn?
I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. And if you interrupt me one more time, I'll bite your other ear off.
Huh?
Listen to this, Vincent Van Gimp, and you might learn something for once.
Bah!
Father Roger welcomed the bishop in, and they both sat down by the fire to have a chat. The bishop told him how he had been given the job of checking up on priests, making sure that they were happy and not straying from the cloth.
None of them stray from the cloth, you know.
Jeez, is this going anywhere, Aeneas? I have to go and drain me cyst.
As they were chatting, there was a tap on the door, and in walked a beautiful young foreign woman with a tray of tea and biscuits.
Marietta?
No, her name was Maria.
No, I was actually wondering about the biscuits. Mariettas are hobnobs. Now, priests always have the hobnobs. At least the ones I've stolen from do, anyway.
Yeah. Father Roger introduced his housekeeper to the bishop.
Bishop Pullet, this is my housekeeper, Maria. Maria, Bishop Pullet.
Very nice to meet you. Is there anything else I can get you?
No, thanks, that's fine.
Once Maria left, the bishop noticed a set of beautiful rosary beads.
These are lovely.
Yes, they were a
As he
present from a
admired them,
cardinal.
Father Roger explained that they were a present from a cardinal in Rome.
Ratzinger?
God bless you. The bishop spoke solemnly. These beads are indeed beautiful. But we mustn't be beguiled by beautiful things. The priest understood what the bishop was intimating and assured the bishop that there was nothing untoward between himself and the pretty housekeeper. The bishop apologized, but explained that it was only part of his job to check up on his flock.
Where does the sheep come into this?
At least attempt to keep up. A couple of days passed and Father Roger was off to do his weekly rosary, except he couldn't find his precious beads.
Uh-oh, the bishop. He was a klepto-clergy, huh?
Well, in fairness, that was the only explanation. He certainly was taken by the beads. But even Father Roger found it hard to believe that the bishop would stoop so low as to rob them. With the help of Maria, he searched the front room from top to bottom, but he was faced with the awful conclusion that the bishop himself had broken the third commandment, "Thou shalt not steal."
Jesus. So there's 3 of them now, then.
He decided to call the bishop and find out the truth. The bishop answered the phone.
Hello, Bishop Pullet. It's Father Rightly here. You didn't by any chance take my rosary beads by accident the other night, did you?
No, replied the bishop calmly.
Well, they've been missing since Monday.
But I can tell you where they are.
Oh,
They're under the duvet in your housekeeper's bed. Of course, she would have found them if she ever slept there.
Oh! Very good.
Father Roger had been well and truly caught by the Cossacks, and his secret illicit affair had been exposed by the oldest trick. in the bishop's handbook.
Oh, you're very good. That was, yeah.
She's bad, yeah.
Oh, by the way, how much will I put you down for?
What are you talking about?
My confirmation money.
Confirmation? Jeez, how much are you down for so far?
About, €820.
You're joking.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
God, do you know what? I suddenly feel overcome with a religious feeling myself, yeah.
See, the only thing now to consider, Podge, is first confession.
Oh, do you have to do that before you can do the others?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, forget it, sure. It would take the best part of 4 years to confess a quarter of the evil that I've done.
True enough, you're right, bastard altogether.
I was and I am. Hey, come here. What's your confirmation name? Anyway?
Osama.
Oh, Rog Spartacus Osama. Oh, leprosy. Very
I
nice.
like that, yeah. Come here, if you were making your confirmation yourself now,
Yeah.
what name would you be picking at all?
Oh, the notorious Podge.
Oh, jeez, very good. Was he a saint now?
Oh, he was a saint, yeah, in south central Bethlehem, yeah.
Right.
He looked after all the hoes.
Oh, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Podge, have you seen me rosary beads at all? I left them on the kitchen chair there. Oh. Huh? Love can feck you up and love can feck you down and love can... Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. How are we doing over here? Oh, God! Lovely! Cooking's great, isn't it, huh? The art of the gods.
Yeah, right, Fecules. What is this pox on me plate, anyway?
Let's have a look. Kangaroo stew to you, Mr. Magoo.
Death at the zoo again, yeah?
Yeah, tragedy, really. Now, let me see what we got there.
What's this yellowy sauce?
Oh, you know, they said they'd never seen an infected abscess so large on a marsupial so small before. Never mind.
Right. What's for the main course, and what did it die of?
Oh, prairie dog dumplings in a Sudan red sauce. They, dug into the wolf enclosure.
Right, forget it. Forget it!
Huh? What?
Anyway, cooking's a risky business. Listen to this, George Foreskin, and you might learn something.
Blah.
Tammy Paxman and her daughter had always lived in the city. But when her husband did a runner, she wanted to make a fresh start. The suburbs beckoned. Green grass, friendly neighbours, and home bacon. Trouble is, Tammy was the worst cook in the world. But when her daughter arrived in with a request for all parents to bake something for the school's cake sale, she was determined to impress.
Okay. I'll get through this.
Do you know something? Aren't woks great altogether, huh?
What?
No, wok.
What?
Wok.
What?
Wok.
Oh, walk! Anyway, poor Tammy slaved in the kitchen all night, trying to bake an impressive jam sponge supreme. At 4 a.m., she was about to throw the towel in when something fell out of her handbag.
Oh, was it a rampant rabbit? Bzzz.
No.
Huh?
It was a box of tampons.
Oh, are the builders in, huh?
Jesus, if you're going to make a smart comment, at least get it right.
Was she in her togs?
All right, look,
then,
can I
huh?
stop
Was she
you
in her
right there,
togs?
pal? Can I, please?
Huh?
You're not even close to getting those right, you feckin' idiot. And no, it wasn't her time of the month.
What? Time it what?
Haven't a clue, have you? Oh. But she was at the end of her tether.
Good one. Are you at the end of your tether, love, huh?
Jesus. Anyway, she began to stuff the tampons into the soggy cake, and lo and behold, it worked.
But she could hardly sell that now, could she?
Yeah, but she wasn't going to. She iced the cake up and it looked amazing. She would put it on display at the school with a sold sticker on it, Yeah, she'd be in with her peers and no one would be any the wiser to her secret ingredient.
Jammy Oliver, huh?
Anyway, it all went to plan. Tammy and her daughter sat by the cake and she was delighted with all the attention and compliments it got. But when she stepped out of the hall for a moment, she came back to find the cake was gone, with a €5 note left in its place.
Uh-oh.
Jane, where's my cake?
So what did she do?
What could she do? The cake was gone. The next evening, Tammy was delighted to be invited over to Mrs. Gormley's, the head of the bridge club and the ultimate local socialite. The one you needed to get in with. This was exactly what Tammy had dreamed of.
Desperate housewives, huh?
Yeah,
You know
good man. Yeah, no, I get it, yeah. It was a great evening. Lots of her neighbours swapping telephone numbers. It was all going so well.
Until...
The cake came out.
Oh, shite.
Yep. There were oohs and ahs from all the ladies present, except Tammy, who wanted the ground to swallow her up. But just before Tammy was about to fess up, Mrs. Gormley proudly announced that the cake was one she had baked earlier.
Jeez, the lion cow, huh?
Yep, but Tammy was hardly going to challenge her. In fact, a smile crossed Tammy's face. She could picture herself as the new president of the bridge club.
Very good. And this is very good.
Dare I ask, John and Jeannie Wankin, what's for dessert?
Prune custard.
I didn't ask what was in your trousers. I asked what was for dessert.
Oh, very good. And chocolate-covered plums.
Well, if you don't wipe your arse, that's what you get.
Right, are you not going to eat that or what?
How can I put this delicately? I'd rather lick a beggar's anus than eat this shite.
So you haven't quite made up your mind yet, is what you're saying. Look,
I'd rather scoop me own poo out of me bumhole and eat it than eat this shite. This is more like it, Rog. A good old roast.
Ooh.
Almost forgot stuffing.
Jesus, I don't feckin' believe it. Honest to God, what do they want this weather, huh? I don't know. I just don't know.
Here she is.
It was a whole waste of time.
Was it now?
Half a Toblerone, and I didn't even get a feckin' reach around.
Oh, you're such a romantic, aren't you?
I know. Do you know what? Maybe I'll try speed dating next. What do you think?
When they smell the whiff of desperation off you, the only speeding will be how quick they can get away from you. Bah. Anyway, you should throw in the towel at this ladies' man malarkey.
Huh?
It'll inevitably result in tragedy.
Here we go.
Rod Footlong was a player, or so he thought. He had a good job, bachelor pad, drinking buddies galore, and the women came and went as he pleased. The perfect he-man, all testosterone and bravado.
Sounds familiar, huh? Over here, if you don't mind. Form a queue, ladies.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
Anyway, like all young fellas, he couldn't resist a challenge. And when he received an email invite to participate in a brand new quiz show, Truth or Lie, he could hardly resist, especially with a 10 grand prize.
And now, there's got to be a catch.
I know, all he had to do was turn up to the filming location and give it a lash. He arrived outside a studio and was greeted by a lovely young lady who introduced herself as the floor manager.
You got here okay? I did, yeah, I did.
Sounds like Rod could manage some time on the floor with her, huh?
Well, it certainly crossed his mind, that's for sure. She showed him his dressing room and offered him a cup of tea. As he sipped on the tea, she began to explain the rules of the game show. But as she did, Rod began to feel drowsy.
She'd slipped him a Mickey.
Next thing Rod knew, he woke to the sound of applause. He struggled to focus under the bright lights, and when he tried to move, he found himself strapped into a chair.
Jesus, the lengths winning streak will go to get contestants.
Suddenly, an announcement boomed over the PA system.
Ladies, please welcome your host, Miss Mona Locke.
Nope, never heard of her.
No, but Rod had. She was an ex-girlfriend of his, one he had treated particularly badly.
Pumped her, then dumped her, huh?
Indeed. Mona explained that Rod was rigged to a lie detector. The show was no longer called Truth or Lie.
Tonight's show is in fact called Truth or Die.
It was a fake relationship quiz show devised by a group of mistreated girlfriends hell-bent on revenge.
Jesus. Hell hath no fury like a lover scorned.
Yes, thank you, Shitsphere. Rod attempted to plead with Mona, but she ignored him and began the questioning.
Round 1. First love. Is it true that you shagged Anita Leigh before our first date?
No, of course not.
2,000 votes shot through his system.
Jesus.
More questions answered by lies, followed by more shocks. The feckin' agent was so used to twisting the truth that he had forgotten how to be honest.
Jesus, huh?
Round 2, while we were dating.
Well, was there no sports category? He'd probably do better on the sports.
More lies, more shocks. He had been an absolute shit. But it was the third round that the toughest question was asked.
Did you ever love me?
He dug deep into his soul and tried to remember some of the good times he had had with Mona. Or was it Jane? Or Fiona? Or that other girl with the black hair?
No, I've only ever loved myself.
So they set him free, right? I mean, lesson learned, bingo bango, huh?
No, they
Fair enough.
fried him to a cinder and feasted on his charred remains.
Jesus, what?
No, actually, I just made that bit up.
Oh.
But they did kill him.
What?
Oh, yeah. They had always intended on killing him. They just wanted to watch him squirm first and finally admit what a shit he was. And beware, Rog, these mistreated exes are still out there on a revenge feud quest for men scum. Don't forget to tune in next week. It could be you.
Jesus. Right, so that's it. I've decided I'm finished with the women.
Back to livestock, so, Rog, huh?
Yeah, when you think about it, there's nothing better than shagging a cow now, is there? They've lovely eyes, a go-anywhere tongue, any number of nipples to play with, a Lopez proportioned rump, and you can eat them afterwards.
You're a regular Casanova, huh?
Let's just say, Podge, I like my meat on the bone.
Oh, Jesus.
I only wanted to talk. Oh, shite.
Oh, Jesus.
Have you seen this, huh?
Yes, I can see it.
Have you seen this? These lads, right? They nail their Mickeys to phone boxes, rollerboard into cars, and brand their arse cheeks, huh?
Is this the den? It's changed over the years.
No. The jackasses.
Ah.
Do you know, I'd like to do that. I could be the wild man of Ballydung, huh?
Oh, wild man, is it? The wild feckin' man, huh? There's only one wild man that I have any respect for.
Not Derek Mooney.
No, his name was Adam. And this is his story.
Oh, shite.
Professor Manville was the world's leading anthropologist.
Oh, Jesus, that reminds me. You must give me his number. I'm having terrible problems with my septic bunions. Look,
Yeah. Anyway, he had spent his entire life and his old money inheritance on the study of the history of mankind.
Oh.
In fact, he was the fellow who made his name after discovering the bog man of Brown Hollow.
Oh, that's right. Didn't he have the brain the size of a pea and a langer the length of a hurley, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, the professor was just about to make the greatest discovery of his career.
How they get the figs into fig rolls.
Right, okay. Are you going for the record? Is that what this is about, huh?
Huh?
Of interrupting me.
No.
Okay, well, one more like that, and that's all it'll take.
Right, okay. Don't say any more.
The professor's loyal assistant, Penny, informed him of an exciting discovery.
Professor!
Penny?
A feral man found in the Andes.
I don't believe it.
And they flew out immediately to see their remarkable find. There in front of the professor was a human being untouched by civilization. It was like looking into the eyes of a caveman. He called him Adam.
And they lived happily ever after, right?
Don't think for a moment I'm letting that one go.
Shite.
Back home, the press were all over the discovery. Adam was the oldest feral man ever discovered. It was believed he had lived in the wild for at least 20 years. It was big news all over the world. The professor and Penny worked tirelessly studying the primitive man.
Really is quite extraordinary behaviour.
Penny often warned her boss that he needed to take a break, but the professor was too engrossed in his work to worry about such mundane things as his health.
Nonsense. I'll be fine, thank you.
Your health is your wealth.
And that, sir, is another. As the months passed, Adam was beginning to trust his captors and began to respond to their tests in a remarkable way. His learning curve was quite amazing. He was like an empty vessel, ready to be filled with wondrous information.
Let's hope that's all the professor was planning to fill him with. I did it again, didn't I?
Uh-huh. A trust was beginning to be established between Adam and the professor. And when he called the professor Father for the first time, it brought a tear to the old man's eyes. He couldn't help but look upon this primal human being as the son he never had. And then disaster struck.
The cheeky girls attempted yet another comeback. We are the cheeky girls, we are the cheeky
No! The professor fell ill. He had indeed pushed himself too hard. The late nights working and the erratic meal times had caught up on him. And pneumonia at his age can be fatal.
I'm dying.